Hi, my name is Carl Lucchi, the founder of the I Refuse to Fail partnership. Today's 30 plus 30 presentation is called Maximize Your Networking Success, an alternative to conventional business networking. My goal today is not to change you. It's hopefully to validate that you're already networking properly, and if not, hope to provide some tips and techniques that may help you maximize your networking success. So, what is an alternative to conventional wisdom networking? Well, first you have to know what conventional wisdom is, and that is following something that is widely accepted as true, correct, or proper. An example is in 500 BC, most people believed the earth was flat, and believe it or not, some people still do today. It's also been proven that conventional wisdom is usually wrong. It's just, about 97% of the time, it's not correct. So in order for you to understand that I'm not just making this stuff up, you need to know a little bit how I came to about making a different formula for networking. And it was through a series of really aha moments. I'm sure you've had those in your life where the light bulb came on and thought either this isn't working or whatever. But that's how I got here. So back in 2003, I started business consulting, free business consulting, and I still do that today with my business called Success Builders. And about 2009, I realized that I don't know everything. And in order to take care of my clients, I better have the answers and the solutions to take care of them when they needed it. And if you can't answer everything, then you obviously are not doing your job. So I thought, what would be a good way for me to find people who knew more than I knew about different things? And I figured that would be to set up a networking organization. So I live in the Tampa Bay area, and I formed a group called Tampa Bay Networkers. That was an in-person group. And I copied it after every group that you've ever probably been to. And we actually acquired over 3,000 members in the Tampa Bay area in our group. And so I started that in 2010. And in 2017, I had another aha moment. And that was that networking wasn't working for most people. It worked for some people, and some people were actually networking better than I was, and they understood how it's supposed to work, but it wasn't working for the majority of the people. So I actually quit my own networking, attending my own networking events in 2017, but I left the group up and allowed the groups to run for the people who were enjoying it. And I figured I have to figure out, why it's not working and see if I can come up with a better solution. And I've always believed you can't fix anything unless you know why it's not working. So I did some research from 2017 to 2018. I did tons of surveys. I attended other events and groups and watched what was being done. I identified the different things that I thought weren't working, and I removed and replaced those with what I feel is a better solution. And then I created a very simple formula. And then I started testing them in live workshops in 2019. And of course, COVID hit, and I had to stop doing the live events. But I was receiving information back that people were actually not networking as much as they had been before, but were getting better results when they tried a few of the ideas and techniques that I provided them in the workshop. So what did I find out in my research? Well, in surveys, I found out that most people really weren't that satisfied, or they expected different results from their business networking. And they thought that networking was going to be easy because that's how it was portrayed. I also found that most of them attended networking events with the goal to promote, sell, or ask for referrals in hopes that they were going to get more business. And so they kind of went there, like they were marketing themselves. So I also found that most people treated it kind of like a trade show. They went there to sell and promote, as I said, and that's really not what networking is. So I also found that most felt that they knew how to network. Well, yeah, of course they felt that way because they were doing it the same way other people were doing it. And so why wouldn't you think you knew how to network? Not one person in the surveys ever said they attended a networking event to buy products or services. And that's quite believable. I do believe that statement because Usually people do not go there looking to buy something. They're going there to sell something. So if you've got everybody going there to sell something and nobody going there to buy anything, usually nothing happens if it's done the way it's done in conventional networking. Most everybody said they attended networking events to build personal relationships in hopes of selling or getting referrals. In other words, they went there for social reasons, to get friends and hope that they build those friends, and once they did that, then those people would help them in their business or they'd buy from them. Very few admitted that they attended the events to sell their products or services. Well, that's a lie, because everybody attends networking events. They wouldn't network if they didn't have a business, unless they were looking for a date. So I tried to figure out what would be in the perfect networking world. What would be ideal for everybody if conventional networking worked? And I came up with that everyone would know how to network. Everybody would know how to do it. They'd know how to do it properly. You'd meet all the right people. Everyone would know, like, and trust you. Most people would buy what you were selling. Everyone would refer you new business on a regular basis. And networking would provide all the business you needed. You didn't have to do anything else. And you'd become so successful that Elon Musk starts calling you because he wants to start hanging out. Networking reality is different. Only about 5 to 10% really know how to network effectively for best results for their business. Most network to promote themselves or other products and services, and most will never promote you or refer you to other people. And networking alone will not make you wealthy. And I doubt that you and Elon Musk are going to be hanging out anytime soon. And poor networking is not the networker's fault. It's not even the group's fault. And proper business networking is a very simple concept, but it really isn't easy if it's done properly. So as I said, networking is simple, but it's not easy. It's a marathon. But most people think that it's fun and it's easy. So like I said, it's not the networker's fault or the group's fault that people network the way they do today, or a lot of people. Most people were taught to sell. I was taught to sell. I used to do the same thing when I started networking. I did the elevator sales pitch, and I was looking for people to buy what I had. Most networkers have never been trained properly. There really aren't too many people out there that are really training networking properly. They're training what conventional networking is, if they're training at all. And most networkers follow and copy what other people do. So obviously, they're going to get the same results as other people do. Most groups don't educate, or they educate wrong, but it's not their fault. Most groups are just following what other group formulas are. It's kind of like if you have a fast food restaurant and you see the fast food restaurant is making money, well, you put one up and you just do it a little bit different, but you're doing the same thing, same formula. So does conventional wisdom networking ever work? Yeah. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. It does work if you want to network on hope. That is, you hope you meet all the right people. You hope they buy what you're selling. You hope they'll refer you business, and you hope that those referrals will contact you, and you hope that they'll buy from you. And if you're a serial networker, you'll become successful. And what a serial networker is somebody that just jumps from networking event to networking event, and they don't dedicate themselves to any one event. They just do it in hopes that they find that nut, like the blind squirrel. So most conventional networking groups and platforms, I think, have confused social and business networking. And I really don't think that social platforms or groups really, are designed for maximum business success. Can you get some business out of it? Sure. But I really don't think it's designed for the right purpose. It's kind of like, Facebook was originally a social platform, but then somebody thought, well, we'll use the social platform and turn it into a business opportunity. It does work for some people. I'm not saying it doesn't, but for the majority of people, it doesn't work, and it really isn't networking. So most conventional networking groups will promote networking is easy. You meet socially and build relationships. You need an elevator sales pitch. And you have the one-on-ones the way you typically see one-on-ones done in a lot of cases. And you ask for referrals from those you meet and hope that they'll refer you. And this will equal business success, which is usually wrong. So why do most groups and platforms promote the way they do? Well, I think that most groups and platforms, they have good intentions. They really want it to work for you. There's no doubt about that. Most are for-profit groups or platforms, so they're in it to make money. Well, if you're in something to make money and you're doing this as a business, you need to use sales psychology along with your platform to get people to buy from you. And you can't do it unless you use psychology. So there's an old saying that you give them what they want. So if you tell them it's easy, affordable, and fun, there's a good chance they're going to take a membership from you. If you tell them it's going to be difficult or it's going to take time and effort, good chance they might not want to join join the group or the platform. So most of these platforms or groups will allow anybody to join as long as they have the money in their pocket to pay. They're not really worried about whether it works or not. They're worried about whether or not you're going to pay them. And most copy what they do from other networking organizations. Like I said, it's not their fault. They're just doing what they see other people doing, hoping that they'll have the same success. So, in my estimation, there was a better and simple networking formula needed. Okay, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If it's not working for you, if it's working for you, then keep doing it. So, in my estimation, your goal in networking should be to build a network of unpaid salespeople by becoming known, liked, and trusted. And you can only do that if you make it about them, not about you. It's not about you. As Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. So I really think you need to use an elevator introduction pitch versus an elevator sales pitch. I have watched people in meetings when they're listening to people giving their elevator sales pitches, and they're either texting or they're bored or they're doodling. They're not really paying attention until it gets time for them to get up. The truth is, most people really don't care how great you are or what you do. So if you do the typical conventional elevator sales pitch, it might go something like this. Hi, I'm Carl Lucchi with Success Builders. It doesn't matter what you need when it comes to business, I can provide that for you. Whether it's a website, social media, sales help, marketing, or advertising, I have the solution. Contact me and I'll show you how to build your business and make it grow. My information and calendar is in the chat. So nobody really cares about what I do. They're there because they want to sell what they have. So people usually aren't going to listen to that. They might listen to it the first time, but they're not going to contact me and I'm not going to sell them. So what I think is a proper elevator networking pitch, not a sales pitch, is, hi, I'm Carl Lucchi and I provide free business consulting. So I told them what I did. I would love to connect with you to find out what you do and see if I can assist you, not sell you. I let them know that I'm interested in them, not in selling them or using what I have to help them. My information is in the calendar and or the chat. If you're in a group meeting, you can give them your business card if you want. So your goal is to be interested in the other person, not be interesting to the other people with your products or services, because nobody really cares what you do. I got to tell you, or very few people. Okay, most people, let's get real. Most people will have a one-to-one with you. And yes, they are interested in what you do, but they're really more interested in what they do in hopes that they are interested in you more than you are them. And that's just the reality of it, because they're there to sell. They're not there to help. I'm not saying that is everybody, but it happens in the majority of the events because they don't know any different. They're there to sell. All right, so let's talk about providing connections instead of referrals. I know this sounds like the same thing, but it really isn't. I receive a ton of referrals every year. Somebody will say, hey, Carl, I talked to a guy named Joe. He's going to call you. He really needs your help. I told him all about you, and he's going to call you. Well, typically Joe won't call me because, number one, Joe doesn't know me. Joe thinks I'm going to sell him, even though he trusted the person that gave the referral. I personally would prefer getting a connection where that person talked to Joe and said, "Hey, Joe, I got a guy that you can trust. He's not going to sell you, I promise. His name is Carl Lucchi. When would be a good time for me to have Carl reach out to you to schedule something?" And then you do that. You get that information. If Joe is really interested, he'll provide that time. If not, he'll just say, "Well, just give me his name and I'll give him a call," which means he's just saying he isn't going to call. So I think you make a connection like that, and then you get with Carl and say, "Hey, Carl, I spoke to Joe and he needs your help. He asked you contact him at Wednesday at 2 o'clock at this phone number, or to send him an email in your calendar," something like that. And if you want to really make the connection strong, you follow up to find out if that connection was made, and if Carl was able to help Joe, and if Joe accepted it. And why do you want to do that? Well, it lets Joe know that you're interested in getting some help and that you weren't trying to sell him, that you were actually having somebody else offer him some help. And it lets Carl know that you are top of mind with him and that you're trusted, and that you're a connection partner, I guess you would call it, or a somebody that is going to introduce you to people that they know, which is going to cause reciprocation. It's going to make you think about that person as well. So it's really a positive way to make, if you want to call it referrals, but I prefer to call it connections. So if your goals in networking are truly just social, I say attend free networking events, whether speed networking or whatever, because you'll find out what people's favorite color is, their favorite cake, how many kids they got. You can do that, and it's fun. You can do that, or you can go to bars. It's just like speed networking, but it's better because people are drinking, having a good time, and you might even find a nut once in a while that will actually buy what you're selling. And there's plenty of social networking platforms out there. You know them all, I'm sure, and sign up for those and do what they do. They do pretty much the same thing. And then there's singles meetups and other type of meetups. You can sign up to anything and everything, and just to get your message out there if you're doing it for social reasons. So no matter whether it's for social reasons or business reasons, you want to attend events where the same people attend on a regular basis. Why? Because you want to be able people to see you every time you go. And if the same people see the same people, they're more likely want to connect with you because you've dedicated yourself to that event or that meeting. You don't have to go to 50 events and 50 meetings like a nomad jumping from one to another. So if your goal is business goals, I suggest that you try to find business events or groups that are about 90% business and 10% social. Social does relate with this. You do want to be social, but you want to keep it more to business. This is not supposed to be just a fun and social event. If you're joining a group, which I really think you should, and if you do join a group, you want training and support from that group, and and there should be a fee. There should be something that you should have some skin in the game, because if you just attend free stuff all the time, you'll find reasons not to participate, not to do the right thing, and not to help people. Make sure the group fees are affordable, though. Make sure that you're getting back from the group what you should get, and make sure they offer enough benefits or whatever it is that hopefully it outweighs the cost of your fees to be a member. And the group really should offer you some kind of financial incentives if you're going to help the group grow, because you're actually helping everybody else help you. And if people are paying for it, you should be compensated for that as if you were working for the group. And they should offer business assistance. I can't imagine any business group where the leader of the group didn't have some kind of business experience to where they shouldn't be able to help you and you help them and everybody else in the group. So you want to be able to provide each other business assistance without expectation of anything but the help. And you should get some kind of reciprocal marketing for your business. If you're networking properly anyway, you should be promoting other people. I know in our group, we provide mass marketing for all of our partners in the group. So you need to support your favorite events and groups. And what I mean by this is statistically, only about 25% of those who register or RSVP to a free event show up. It's higher when there's a paid group because people have skin in the game. But when it's a free one, I actually know people who will sign up for 5 or 10, and then they'll just pick one that they'll show up to if they have time. Or if there's reruns of Golden Girls on, they may not attend any of them. They'll stay home and watch TV, which does them no good. So you need to, if you're going to RSVP, be respectable to the group, be respectable to other people, and for heaven's sake, show up. Put it on your calendar. Treat it like a business appointment, and go to that appointment. Go. It's an integral part of your business. It's a part of building your business. So you should show up, and you should show up on time. And you should attend often. Like I said, you want to be memorable. And also, in being memorable, you want to engage and provide positive input for those you meet if you have that opportunity in that style meeting, because people will understand that you are really interested in helping other people, which is going to make them want to engage with you. And so if you make it about the other people, it will become about you. And for heaven's sakes, invite others to your favorite events. It's not like you want to keep it a secret. You're helping your other group members and or partners in our situation by introducing them to people that you know, like, and trust. So if everybody is inviting people, you're going to be able to meet a lot of people. In my face-to-face groups that I used to tell people, if only 12 of you invited 12 people a year, everybody would have 144 new people to meet. Just think if everybody invited just one person a month, not every week. So that would be good for everyone. So is networking really for you? I don't know. It's a marathon. Like I said, it's not something that's quick and simple. You have to work at it. There is some effort involved, but it can be low cost, and it's a good way to market yourself. And it's definitely a good way to get good connections and create an unpaid sales force. Trade shows might be better for you, especially if you're treating networking like a trade show. Go to a trade show, get a booth, put stuff there. At least the people that are coming into a trade show are potentially looking to buy something. So you have a better chance of selling something. You don't have to look for that, blind squirrel looking for a nut. And advertise. You're probably having to do that anyway, because you're not going to get wealthy or start hanging out with Elon Musk just on networking. You're going to have to advertise and use other avenues. So basically, that's my story. That's why I created this. And I hope it was helpful. Maybe a few tips in there, or maybe it just validated that you're already doing things the way you need to do it. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video in this case, or attending the event that we had. And I wish you the best in your business.